Hello ladies and gentlemen, Milosoft here. Today we're going to look at removing the password protection from Starfleet. Before we get into that, I'd just like to address something regarding the quality of the videos. In my first video, the volume was too low. In another video, I sniffled, I sneezed, I coughed. For every video that you see uploaded to YouTube, there are probably no less than 5 attempts at creating a video for that game. Unfortunately, my video production skills leave a lot to be desired. So I would just ask that you kind of focus on the content of the video instead of the quality as I work to improve. And I do hope to improve over time. So we're going to load Starfleet. And I'm going to turn the sound off, which I can hear. We have a loading picture. Almost looks like a crack intro from UCF. We have a second intro. We have the credits. Okay, so I'm going to press F12 to create a freeze of the game in its current state. And you can see here it's asking for a password. If we go Alt-M and we look at 0800, the game does not appear to be written in BASIC. If we go Alt-M, we see it's executing 2BFD. And it does appear to be machine code. Today I'm going to show you a little bit of a shortcut for these types of games. When it comes to entering the password, let's try entering ABCCD. It doesn't have to be in that particular order. You can put in ABBA if you'd like. You can put any values. What we want to do is we want to do a search for that position of the alphabet. So it would be 1, 2, 3, 3, 4. First letter of the alphabet, second, third, fourth. 1, 2, 3, 3, 4. Nothing. Let's do the same thing, but for the Petsky values this time. And you can see it is found at 1700. So the difference here is these are the screen values, and these are the Petsky values. So I would recommend you try both. Type in, I meant to put Pac-Man. There you are, 1700. So we know that your password is being stored at 1700. Rather than go looking through the code, let's try another approach by creating a breakpoint. BA, breakpoint add 1700, R for read. And if we type BR to look at the breakpoint registers, you see here we've created one, number 0, for address 1700. Read, write, execute. We're only concerned with reading it, not writing to it. And then I'm going to press enter, and you see here it has found a breakpoint. It is accessing our password at 3D23. The breakpoint is a really good way of finding infinite lives in games, if you know which address has your number of lives. It loads 7500, x, where x starts at 0. Checks to see if it's equal to 0. Compares it to 1700. Not equal. Go down here. 1700 is our password. Therefore, 7500 must be the password it's expecting. So here's what it's doing. It's setting x to 0, loading 7500, comma x. This is position 0. It checks the v. Is it branch equal? Meaning, is it equal to 0? No. Go down here, compare it to 1700, comma x. It's an A. Is that equal? No. So it goes down to where the routine fails. If you do get it right, it increments x, compares it to 16. It's less than 16, go back up. And because we've incremented x, it moves over one position of the password. So x is 0, x is 1, x is 2, x is 3, until it finishes. So there's two conditions where it would exit. It would exit if the password is 16 characters, right here, or if it hits a 0, right here. So it's ensuring that regardless, 3D2A is where it goes when you get the correct password. How are we going to remove the protection? Here we're loading 1700, x, and we're comparing it to 3DB4. Why is it checking our password? Well, it is looking for demo. And the reason for that is demo for a demonstration game. So we can ignore that one. What we're concerned with is right here. Game password. Is it 0? Your password. If not, go to 3D, 2D right here. And here it will check, is it demo? Well, we want the game. So to do that, we need to change this line here, branch not equal. If the password you're looking for compared to the password you put in is not equal, we don't want it to do anything. So the key is at 3D23. 3D23. We want to change D0 and 08. There's a couple of ways of doing it. We could change it to EA, which is a no operation. But I'm going to just put A9. I'm only going to change 1 byte. And what that does is it changes the branch not equal opcode to a load. Therefore, it doesn't branch away anymore. Meaning that when we exit and put a password, it works. So now comes the fun part. Which one of these files is that code contained in? If you have a super snapshot cartridge, you could go individually loading the files and it would probably tell you something like loading FF from 08012, something like that. I don't have a super snapshot installed, so we're going to do it the hard way. And that is we're just going to manually go through the files. And then we're going to look at what is it now? 2B and 2C. Actually, no, I'm sorry. It is 2D and 2E. So 2D and 2E are the pointer to the end of memory of the file that you've just loaded. So you can see here, the program ends at 51FE. If you look at 5000, around 51FE, it just finishes. If we load screen, the end address in low high byte format is CC100. So it probably loads around C1000. And that is a character set. Part 1 ends at 6101. That's a good candidate for what we're looking for. And it is indeed the file that we want to modify. Now, in another video, I showed you how to get the start address of a file by creating a basic program. I'm going to show you another shortcut. It's a little bit easier. We're just going to fill all of memory, well, most of memory anyway, with a star. Fill 0900 to 9000 with 2A. And then if you look from 900 onwards, it's just full of stars. Then we're going to load the file on top. And we're just going to type I0900 and just take a visual glance and see what has changed. And you can see here at 2800, we have code, and the code ends at 6100. So just to get into that again, we'll fill 0900 to 8000 with 2A. Use I to look. There's nothing there. Load part 1. And we can see at 2800, we have code. Why don't I fill from 0800? Well, there, it doesn't like it when you put a 0 at 0800 and then you mess up the basic line pointers. So here's what we're going to do. Here's how we're going to fix it. Load part 1. Go into the monitor. Go to 3D23. I'm going to change the D008, which is the branch not equal, to an A9, which in turn gets rid of the branch not equal. Save, what is the file called? What a short memory I have, part 1. So, save part 1. We know it starts at 2800. It ends there. Done. So we are going to load dir master from the group style. And we are going to load the disk image that contains Starfleet. First thing we want to do is delete part 1. We do that because it has the copy protected version. File, import. And we want, in this case, I'm going to my CCS directory because that's where the file is saved. Sometimes when you save a program under CCS, it uses different directories depending on where you call it from. And I'm going to rename it because it's not supposed to be in capitals. Part 1, disk, save. So we've now taken part 1 with the correct version of the code and put it into the disk image. Now what we want to do is give it the final test. Load Starfleet. Will it work? I hear the sound. You don't. There we go. Okay, and any password, and it has now been cracked. There we go. If you like this video, please like, comment, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your enemies. This is Milosoft saying, take care.